In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to create a YouTube thumbnail in Affinity Photo. Why did I choose Affinity Photo instead of Photoshop? That's because Affinity Photo is a one-time purchase. Me personally, I'm tired of all these subscription softwares. So when I come across something that's a one-time payment, it's just a little gift in my heart. Today I'm going to show you exactly how to make a thumbnail in Affinity Photo, and hopefully give you some tips and tricks in Affinity Photo because it took me a really long time. All right, so once you get Affinity Photo open, you're going to want to create a new canvas. And if you're creating a new canvas for YouTube, then you're going to want the page width and the page height to be these dimensions, 1280 by 720. Once you have Affinity Photo open, go ahead and press V so that you can drag around. And then you want to start with the image that you would like. And for this video, I'm just going to take a random picture. So, oh, taking that thumbnail today. Affinity Photo sponsor me. Oh yeah, 'cause I gotta write you a song just like this. Boom. And usually whenever you get an image in here, it's going to be giant. Ignore that zoomed inness. Let's shrink it down to size. Now sometimes when you shrink it down to the small size, it will get all pixelated like that, but people are going to be seeing the thumbnail at this size. What I like to do is, if I want to cut out this background, what I'll typically do is cut out my face and then make a different background. But if you want to keep the background, which I do recommend you keep the background, but I will show you how to cut yourself out. I'm going to make the image just a little bit smaller. You cut out the image and the image is too big, then you'll cut out this part, and once you go to move it around, then these parts will still be in there. So make your image just a little bit smaller. Then you want to zoom in and press W, and that enables this tool right here. And then using your brackets on your keyboard, you can make it bigger and smaller. So go ahead and just highlight everything. You can be messy the first time around. Like, this part is very tedious in my opinion. You just go around kind of trying to get the best selection you can. All right, and then when you think you have a pretty good selection, you can go ahead and hit refine up here, this box right here, refine. And this is where you really double check to make sure you did a good job. What I'll typically do if I'm not wearing a hat, in this case I'll do it anyways, but I'll make my brush a little bit smaller, but then I'll go along my hairline because it tends to not do that great of a job around the hairline, and then it should look a lot better. Okay, once you have a selection that you're happy with, you can go ahead and hit apply. Don't do anything just yet. I'm gonna get rid of that layer. Then you're going to go down here to this little box with a circle in it, hit that, and that'll mask your layer. And now don't try to move this around just yet. Select your layer and then hit Command D, and then that'll deselect the layer. I know what you might be thinking, this looks terrible, but when you add a background, it ends up looking a lot better. I mean, this isn't the best selection because you can see like my head's disappearing and this is over there, but the odds are you can do this a lot better than I can. I'm just going to show you the basics here, and then go ahead and hit V again so you can move around your image. And now you can see that whenever you move around your image, there's nothing around, so you can make yourself coming out of the corner here. You can make yourself come upside down, pointing at that. And then that is the basics of cutting yourself out, which is basically the first step. Now, if you do tutorials like me, then this is a sweet little treat of a tip. Let's say you want to do a tutorial on Affinity Photo. Let's just say you got some inspiration from me and you want to do that. Go to Affinity Photo, Options, open up Show in Finder. Once you have it shown in Finder, go to Affinity Photo, Get Info, and then this little icon right here, look, when you select it, it gets highlighted. What that means is you can copy it by Command C, and come over here, boom, pasted it. And now you have a super high quality image, and you don't have to go on Google Images to find a very grainy image, because that's what I usually do. And then you can have it kind of popping out right there. And then say I want to be pointing the other way because I want to point at this Affinity Photo thing. Well, that's easy. You just go to transforms. Where is it? Transform, and then you flip horizontally. Boom. Now I'm pointing at that. Look at that. I'm like, hey, look. Affinity Photo is so great. Because it's a one-time purchase. I'm not sponsored by Affinity Photo at all either. So there you go. Now I'm pointing at it. And that looks kind of silly, but it's also kind of funny. And then what I'll do is, like, if you wanted to make it really fake, then you could grab. So you have this, you can license it, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to do that. I mean, it's very small, but it could work. I think it'll work for this tutorial. Yeah. So I'm just gonna make it where it fills the screen. You can drag that to the bottom. Boom. So now you can kind of see, like, it's not the best thumbnail, but I mean, look, it pops out. It pops out off the screen. It's nowhere near a perfect thumbnail. Okay, this is not like an extensive Affinity Photo tutorial. This is just to get you from level 0, not knowing what you're doing in Affinity Photo, to being able to just finally make your thumbnail, just so you have the basic tool. I showed you how to add a logo, how to cut yourself out. Now we're going to go over how to add text and make the text kind of not be horrible, because you want the text to kind of pop off the screen. So we're going to press T on our keyboard. Okay. And then you can change the font up here where it says Arial. I'm actually making the thumbnail to this video right now, and this is perfectly fine. But when you zoom out, and this is what I do whenever I'm making my thumbnails, always zoom out to look at what the thumbnail looks like when you're looking at it from a viewer's perspective. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete, and we're going to do it word by word. And then I want something to be behind it too. And maybe what I'll do for YouTube is get the YouTube logo. Then you could do something like that. So we could replace how to make a YouTube thumbnail. Now we're going to make our own YouTube logo. So what I'm going to do, and typically I have to do this on the spot. Hit W. Let's go ahead and select that, select that, select that, select that. A curved rectangle shape. Just going to make a general shape right there. Boom. Then we're going to put that on top. Fit where we want it to. Now I'm going to take my YouTube logo and group it with the rounded rectangle shape. Now I could resize this and it'll all resize together. I'm going to get rid of that text. Then you can do how to make a YouTube. How? Make a little bit bigger. A YouTube. You can see the eye-catching elements, which is the YouTube logo and the Affinity logo. So I want the Affinity logo to stand out, and I want the YouTube logo to stand out. And your face, I'm not sure why, but YouTube likes it when you put your face in the thumbnails. And yes, this is a very cheesy thumbnail, but what are you gonna do? You gotta get views, and you gotta do what people like, what people want to click on. Now, this is a very lengthy tutorial, so I appreciate you guys for sticking around, because I wish I had something like this when I was making my thumbnails. Might make this a little wider. That's just personal preference. I may be doing everything wrong. Okay. Okay. I need to make myself a little bit brighter. So what I'm going to do is make a color adjustments. I'm going to do some color adjustments. And to adjust my exposure, I really like to use the curves. And I found that under the circle, this half circle. What do you call that? Half filled in circle. And then you click curves. Boom. Now you have your curves plus Noah. And then you're going to select both of them, right click, and hit group. You can also hit Command G, and that'll group it in there. Then we're just going to focus on this curves layer. Then we're going to double click the circle right here. And that'll bring up this guy. And then we can kind of adjust our exposure of just me. All right. Now I'll start by just dragging the entire exposure of me all the way up until it's like blown out. I'll bring it back. There it is. Now I'm much brighter. I look like I belong in the scene a little bit better. And I'm kind of happy with that. I dragged the overall exposure up and then brought down the shadows just a little bit to bring in more contrast. Just the saturation of me, maybe just a little bit, just a touch. And boom, that is a thumbnail that I would be happy to put on my channel. Now, does it match the aesthetic of all my other YouTube videos? Probably not. Now that you have a beautiful thumbnail, it's time to export this puppy. Now, you'll go up to File, Export, and you want to make sure you hit JPEG, make sure it's 1280 by 720. That is perfect. It's not even a megabyte, so don't even worry about it, and export it to your desired folder. And there you have it. That is exactly how to create a YouTube thumbnail in Affinity Photo. If you like these tutorials and you have Affinity Photo and Final Cut Pro, then I would consider subscribing. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.